Hi, this is Matt once again. We're about to another video, and this is a paid request for Cindy. Thank you so much for that. For those interested in requesting any type of videos, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough, movie review, re-review, tier list ranking, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal. Do you have a Cash App as well? Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. So, for those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. Now, Cindy wanted me to look at a film called Seems Like Old Times, which I know my friend Mike, OCP, he reviewed this. Because I watched the film, then I watched his review. This is from years ago. And how he felt about it is kind of the same way as I felt about it, where it's a film that is okay, but just okay. I think the cast helps propel the film. That if it wasn't for the cast, it'd be fairly forgettable. But that and some pieces of writing from Neil Simon, who wrote this, who wrote The Odd Couple, which I enjoyed The Odd Couple. The movie, that is. Because I didn't watch much of the TV show. I know of it, but I was more into the movies. Because I actually like The Odd Couple too as well. But The Odd Couple, Neil Simon wrote, and he wrote this. The plot of the film, the cast of the film. Let's start with the cast because, like I said, that's the best part of this. You got Chevy Chase, which this is definitely the time when he started the end of movies. He had been on SNL, and he would find success with National Lampoon's Vacation, Fletch, among other movies, Spies Like Us, Caddyshack, and up until the 90s, because the 90s, he would still do films, but they weren't as successful. I don't remember hating them. I mean, I liked Nothing But Trouble. I remember Cops and Robertsons being there. I remember not hating it. I remember not hating... God, I can't remember. Man of the House, I think it was called. It's been forever since I've seen it. But they weren't the box office hits of Caddyshack, Fletch, the National Lampoon films, etc. But yeah, this was 1980, so Chevy Chase is a writer, and one day these two guys come up, and he doesn't know who they are, and they are thieves, they're robbers. They pull a gun on him and go, "We need your car," and they use him to rob a bank. As they escape, Chevy Chase gets pushed out, he limps, he walks off, and he needs help because now the cops think he was part of it, even though he was forced into doing it. So in order to get help, to help clear his name, he's going to go to his ex-wife, who's a lawyer, and the ex-wife is played by Goldie Hawn. I like Goldie Hawn. She has this very jubilant, fun energy to her, very lighthearted. And like I said, always liked her. She brings that same energy into this film. And she is now married to Charles Grodin, may he rest in peace, who is a district attorney in LA, and he is gearing up for this dinner with the governor because he may get there's talks if he'll get a promotion. Charles Grodin I've always loved. I mean, he was hilarious in Midnight Run, Beethoven, pretty much anything he's in, even the bit role he was in So I Married an Axe Murderer. Charles Grodin is great. And for some reason, the Razzies nominated him for, like, worst supporting actor. I'm like, what the fuck? How the hell you don't nominate Charles Grodin? Reason 825 why the Razzies suck ass. They're the same ones that nominated John Carpenter's The Theme for worst musical score. And then they nominated Rambo 2 or something like for worst film of 85. Fuck the Razzies. Anyway. So yeah, Chevy Chase, Goldie Hawn, Charles Grodin. And Goldie Hawn sees Chevy Chase, and she's trying to help him, but she doesn't want to tell her husband because the shit will really hit the fan. And so it's either Chevy Chase hiding out and Goldie Hawn trying to figure out what to do next. and hijinks ensue. Now, there's some other familiar names in this. Robert Gulami plays Charles Grodin's buddy. He was on the TV show Benson for many years. I remember him from the Jean-Claude Van Damme film Death Warrant as one of the allies in prison helping Van Damme. He was also in Wanted Dead or Alive. He's the guy that goes up to Rutger Hauer and kind of gets him to do the job at hand. Good character actor. He's fun in this. T.K. Carter, who was in John Carpenter's The Thing with the roller skates. I mean, we're at war with Norway. Cool to see T.K. Carter in there. Always enjoyed him ever since I saw him in John Carpenter's film The Thing. He plays a guy, because what Goldie Hawn does as a lawyer is that she'll get people who used to be criminals, but then get them jobs to help them out and give them a second chance. So, for example, T.K. Carter is her chauffeur. And there's a funny bit where she's like, "Where do you get that hat?" "I found it." "Where do you find it?" "On a chauffeur." So a little bit of that thievery still there, but actually I would say T.K. Carter is probably my favorite part of the movie. He got the most chuckles out of me when he's driving Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase is in the back and doesn't know who to listen to. And then Chevy's like, "I'm the one holding the gun." "Yeah, I'll buy that." I thought that was funny. There's been the kitchen where he talks about how he's wearing Charles Grodin's suit and he's getting drunk, and in fact he gets himself so drunk at the dinner party that Chevy Chase has to be the guy, the waiter, and there's some fun reactions there, especially this is the governor there, and Chevy Chase is a wanted criminal, but the governor's like, "I recognize you, don't you?" And then Robert Gulami's at the party, and he looks at Chevy Chase and goes, "Holy shit! Beg your pardon, governor." So there's fun stuff with that, especially if you like the cast. If you don't care about the cast, you wouldn't see the movie in the first place, more than likely. But if you like the cast, there's some fun in there. Even early on, you have that Chevy Chase wit, where they have the guns on him. That clear up for you? Don't, I'm afraid not. You see, I'm blind. We'll see, it's a temporary thing, but, you know. So, yeah, they did that kind of Chevy Chase type of demeanor that you see, especially in his early films. Or when he escapes, he robs for some milk duds. So, yeah, no, I don't want any of that candy. I want milk duds. We got Nestle Crunch. I want milk duds. Fine. No, I'm not stealing. I'm here paying you, okay? Just want some milk duds. I'd be like, fuck, I hate milk duds. Milk duds. On a tangent, I don't like milk duds. I've tried them. They taste gross to me. They just taste gross. I'm like, give me the Nestle Crunch instead. You got any Skittles? Hershey almonds? Kit Kats? Gotta have some Kit Kats. Fucking milk dud business. I do agree with my friend Mike where he says sometimes the musical score does sound like a bit of a porno. Maybe not a porno, I wouldn't go that far, but it does sound like trying to be more whimsical, or sometimes it doesn't fit the film 100%. And like I said, there's fun to be had with the cast. I think what it is for a chunk of the movie, it's kind of standing still in a way, where Chevy's hiding and Goldie's there, but it's like the story doesn't really know what it wants to do once Chevy gets there to Goldie Hawn's place. Again, there's some fun stuff. There's a bit where he's hiding under the bed and Goldie and Charles Grodin are on top of the bed, and she like falls and she's like, "Oh shit," and Gordon's like, "What?" And then she comes up with an excuse. So there's stuff like that. But, like you said, it doesn't really know what it wants to do, where Goldie doesn't want to tell Grodin. Charles Grodin doesn't really find out that Chevy's there till the end. She's not doing a whole lot to help him on his case. It's not like the two of them are going to investigate, and it's going to be like them looking for clues, and it's not a film that's really about them wanting to get together again. Because on one thing, Charles Grodin not isn't a bad guy, so it just makes Goldie Hawn kind of slutty and shitty. That you're with your guy here who's done nothing wrong, but then you're making googly eyes at Chevy Chase. But then it's like, I don't know if the movie's even trying to do that. Because, so it doesn't want to take its 2 steps forward or 2 steps back. So it just like, do they want to get back together, but they're not going to get back together, but they're not really trying, but are they trying, but not really? Like I said, and they're not investigating what's happened to Chevy Chase. They're not looking into finding these 2 guys. In fact, the 2 guys are found kind of random at the end, which I'll get to. So you're kind of sitting there going, where is the story going? Where is the direction of the story? Where is it taking me? And it kind of just sits there, and you're kind of going, okay, does the story have any direction of where it's going? Like, what are you trying to say, movie? Okay, it seems like old times, so there's certain moments they get close, but then they're not going to get back together, and that gets to the ending as well, which I'll get to. So that's the thing, it's just, even for comedy, you have a goal. The hangover. We have no memory. We need to find our friend. And so we're looking through our photos, trying to remember what happened, and the goal is to find our friend for his wedding. Or, for his, special event, I should say. Hell, Weekend at Bernie's, which I love. They get there, their boss is dead, they don't know the whole story, but now the goal is we have to figure out who's trying to kill us and find a way to get off this island. So now we have to find ways to get off this island. Way if Bernie's with us, maybe the guy won't try to kill us, but at least we know where we're going. Even National Lampoon's Vacation. We're going to Wally World. Here's the journey there. Christmas Vacation. Yes, it's about kind of them enjoying their time at Christmas, but then it's, I'm going to get this bonus, and we're going to put it in the swimming pool, and it didn't happen, and we got fucked over, and then, they have that great rant Chevy Chase. Hallelujah, holy shit, where's the Tylenol? But here is kind of like, okay, Chevy Chase is hiding, but then, like, he tries to leave, but he doesn't leave, but then he's hurt, but, then you have the cook, and, Goldie Hawn has a shitload of dogs. Funny enough, one of them is a St. Bernard, so Charles Grodin had St. Bernard before Beethoven, and it's his film. And there's a chunk of the movie where Chevy Chase kind of disappears as more of Grodin and Goldie getting ready for this governor dinner. So again, there's some fun, bits of dialogue. I like when Goldie Hawn gets pissed at Chevy Chase and goes, you know what? I want to get the wording right. I hope they shoot you, and when they drag your dead body out, I hope they shoot you again. I thought that was funny. Like I said, some of the stuff with T.K. Carter I thought was funny. The dinner, pretty much Charles Grodin notices Chevy Chase, and will you excuse me, Governor? Will you excuse me, Governor? They go away and they get a bit of a fight. So, like I said, the actors do what they can, and there's some nice little moments of comedy because of Neil Simon's writing. But again, because where the plot doesn't really know where it wants to go, and it kind of staying still for a chunk of it, kind of bothersome for me. The musical score, I don't know, really fits the film 100%. That kind of was bothersome. And the ending, I thought, was really lame. Just spoiler alert, the ending, what happens is, it's a courtroom, and the Latin cook of Goldie Hawn, coincidentally, the same 2 robbers tried to take her to go to another place, another bank, and rob it. But she had all those dogs, And all those dogs, I guess, did something to the crooks, stopped them, and then able to capture them. And then when they're brought in, Chevy and Goldie Hawn, those are the two robbers. And then the robbers admit it for reduced sentence. I'm like, okay, so we don't get to see any of this. We don't get to see the lady getting robbed and the dogs attacking the two guys. There's an old phrase, show, don't tell, but here they just tell you what happened. By the way, here's what happened. The stuff we didn't show you, the stuff we didn't shoot, stuff we didn't, showcase to the viewer, I'll just tell you because it's cheaper that way. And yet, how coincidence, big of a fucking coincidence is that, well, thankfully those two robbed that lady. And by robbing that lady, or trying to, and coax her to go to a robbery, then the dogs, then caught them, and then he's free, and everything's fine. I'm like, wow, that just felt like, oh shit, we gotta end the film, we gotta wrap it up, okay, we gotta make him innocent, okay, we have this character, blah, 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 blah. It's a big coincidence, it's a big, kind of a, idea that comedies are not known for big, expansive endings. It's not an action film, it's not a horror film, it's a comedy. But still, I thought this kind of petered out. And then the very end is very weirdly ambiguous. It's Charles Grodin and Goldie Hawn, they're driving. They get into an accident, Grodin is hurt. Goldie Hawn trying to find help, knocks on the door, and it's Chevy Chase's place. And you see Goldie Hawn staring at him and smiling. Then the movie's over. What's that meant to infer? Is Goldie Hawn eventually going to leave Charles Grodin for Chevy Chase? It's all, I get to see you again, but for what measure? We'll still be friends? Or to me, there's really no final bit where, hey, he's a good man. Hopefully we can at least stay friends. Which is fine, which is a mature thing. That, hey, you're friends with your ex-girlfriend, ex-wife, and it works out. You're just being friends. That could be a cool thing. That could be a cool thing to teach. It could be a cool thing to showcase to people that, unless something horribly egregious happens, it's okay to be friends with your ex. But none of that really comes in play, so I don't really get what the point of the ending is. Well, she's just happy to see him again. Okay, well, technically, I guess they could have called each other, since there's no secret about it. Technically, they could be like, okay, we'll meet once a week, once a month for coffee. There's nothing against the law for that, so it makes it seem as if we'll never see each other again. I'm like, why, if you want to be friends? Unless you want to be more than that. See, I mean, that's what I mean, like, so what's the whole, I don't get the last shot. It's ambiguous for no reason, in my eyes. That's just the way I look at it. But maybe that's just me. So with those issues where the ending, I don't think it's the strongest, it's not the funniest movie, as in consistently funny. There are moments of kind of meandering. But other than that, there was enough fun moments that I'm glad I saw it at least once. It's weird that the cover makes it seem as if Chevy and Goldie are a couple. At least on that over there, so poor Charles Grodin can't even get on that cover. So that said, thanks for watching. Take care. And I would say at the end of the day, I thought it was okay. And we'll see you guys later. Bye-bye for now.